I replaced every enemy in Pikmin 2 with Beady Longlegs and then collected every treasure.
Oh my god!
Go in the hole right now! Right now!
Oh my god!
But before we begin, welcome to my Google Sheets presentation, where I explain why the frick I'm doing this. Back in 2018, 6 freaking years ago, I was a prominent member of the Pikmin 2 modding community, where I created the Pikmin 2 Challenge Pack, a collection of 30 new challenge mode stages, the most infamous of which being the Flat Cavern. Dun dun dun. This cave, outside of having an absolutely impeccable name, focused on things that crushed you. It was made infamous for 2 floors, sublevel 4 and sublevel 6. Sublevel 6 was a freaking, there were 2 wire wraiths, they chase you around, one of them had a key, you had to turn your Pikmin into purples, kill the wire wraith, hope it was the one with the key because you couldn't tell, sometimes a candy pop buzz didn't spawn. Oops! And to make things even worse, this is sublevel 6. To get here, you had to get through sublevel 5, or as I call it, the Water Wraith Swooping Stitch Bug Screw You floors in sublevel 4. 6 Beady Longlegses, 1 with the key. Good luck! But that brings us to today. That brings us to today. It is finally time for me to face my karmic retribution. And hey, I love pure, unfiltered chaos. So I brought my innocent friend in to join me. Meet Jeffrey. He has no clue what he just signed himself up for. But before we begin, there is one last thing I want to talk about. My Minthers video. I know this is a shameless plug, but I am really proud of this video, like genuinely. This whole challenge and video, it's a nice video. It's a fun video, it's a cozy video. It's all about problem solving and solving problems. No. The challenge we're doing today is not like this. This is going to be an angry challenge. This is going to be a tedious challenge. This is going to be a Beady Longlegs challenge. This isn't a question of if you can beat Pikmin 2 if every enemy is a Beady Longlegs, because yes you can. Asterix, we'll get to that. No. The real question is, what happens if every enemy is a Beady Longlegs? Almost every enemy is a Beady Longlegs. What strategies do we develop? What game oddities emerge? And if you're wondering about that almost, not everything is a Beady Longlegs. That's not to make the game easier. I know there's Bulbman up there, but like, it's just to add more variety and spice things up. Because, trust me, there is going to be more than enough Beady Longlegses as it is. So, it's finally time. Let's hop right into the video.
From the game separately from
Pikmin.
Our adventure begins in the Valley of Repose,
I hope nothing bad happens.
Dude, I would never.
where we instantly see the mod in effect.
Oh,
There's
hi!
no possible. Oh, is this hack gonna be everything is Beady Longlegs? Is that where we're going? Is everything gonna be Beady Longlegs? Sam, you have to tell me. You're required by law to tell me if every enemy is Beady Longlegs.
Now, as we're playing in co-op, Jeffrey's able to do the tutorial as I fight the first Beady Longlegs. But what if I were alone? Defeating the Beady doesn't let the cutscene activate, but that doesn't really matter since getting a Pikmin extinction automatically forces it to the next day. This also moves the onion and gives you 1 extra red Pikmin, so you can farm pellets until you have enough Pikmin to leave. You can also kill Olimar, which forces you to play as Louie, but that doesn't let you finish the tutorial for reasons I'll get to later. Regardless, thanks to co-op, we don't need to worry about doing anything too special. So we collect the first of the 201 treasures and progress through the tutorial. Now for those of you not terribly familiar with Pikmin 2, the game has 4 major areas, and each one has 3 or 4 caves. These caves are extensive gauntlets filled with goodies, baddies, and significantly reduced Pikmin production. This is where the bulk of our adventure takes place. And when every enemy is replaced by a Beady Longlegs, we get our first showcase of exactly what this challenge is going to entail. The Emergence Cave. This is a very short 2 sub-level cave with 3 treasures, but it's here we get purple Pikmin in the Spherical Atlas, which unlocks the Awakening Wood. And I think I'm just gonna let the clip speak for itself here.
So we're not. There's not gonna be enough Beady Longlegs this year for it to be an issue. We're just gonna. No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's
We'll
fine. We'll just get the question couple real quick.
Just grab it.
For reference, this cave's only enemy is usually just the near harmless Snowball Warp, but thanks to my modifications, it's now a bunch of spiders! Spiders? Spider? What is Beady Longlegs? It has 4 legs, so it's not really a spider. It has no eyes, it has no mouth, it can scream, it roars. According to Olimar, it's just an insectoid creature similar to spiders, but it's not really a spider. That ball thing, that's not a head, that's just its body. How does it scream? Beady Longlegs is big, slow, and kinda just stumbles around. And when combined with the loosey-goosey physics engine of Pikmin 2, you're often able to carry objects through the boss's legs. As long as Beady doesn't stomp the Pikmin, treasures can get through the most absurd of situations. With that said, an active Beady still poses a major threat to our Pikmin, as seen on sub-level 2, with 2 Beadies guarding the ship and an incredibly large and slow object to carry. Chances are, Pikmin blood will spill. So I spent this floor defeating them while Jeffrey ducked and weaved his way through the forest of legs to obtain purple Pikmin. I assume, at least. His footage kinda looked like this at the moment. Also, if my own video quality looks noticeably bad, don't worry, it gets better as the video goes on. For now though, apologies. Purple Pikmin are a really interesting type for this challenge because, as I'm sure you know, they're stupidly busted in this game. But they're busted because they're super strong against 95% of enemies. So what happens if every enemy is something that they're not that good against? Yeah, I'm shocked too. Finally, with the Spherical Atlas obtained, the Awakening Wood is unlocked, and Day 2 comes to a close. As we venture into the new area, the first thing we do is pull out Pikmin. Yeah, duh. No, you don't understand. We need to pull out Pikmin. The Wogpulls the blue Pikmin fight are now Beady Longlegs. They are actively attacking the blue Pikmin. And if you're familiar with classic integer overflow bugs in games, you can probably guess where this is going. Long story short, we have 0 Pikmin on the field. And if that number goes down from, say, a wild Pikmin dying, instead of going negative, it becomes incredibly high. All this really means is we technically have more than 100 Pikmin on the field, and cannot call out any more. Thankfully, as long as we call Pikmin out fast enough, we're saved from this bug. Although this won't be the last time these wild Pikmin pose a problem. We spend a good deal of time in the Awakening Wood, goofing around, collecting treasures, gathering spicy spray, and finding the absolutely massive amounts of Arachnorbs in this level.
I really want to go and just punch that Palaposy, but that's probably going to spawn like 5 more Beady Longlegs.
It's fine. We'll just have this guy deal with.
So after all this chaos, we head into the area's first 2 caves, the Hole of Beasts and White Flower Garden. Combined with the Emergence Cave and I guess Citadel of Spiders, these caves make up the early game, and really give us a taste of what's to come. Both of these Awakening Wood caves are very similar. Boss floor with a single Beady, Hazard Focus floor with 0 Beadies, Enemy Light floor with treasures, oh my god, get me out of here, and Candy Pop Bud floors.
My god.
This goes without saying, but floors that are focused around hordes of weak enemies are going to pose massively harder challenges than floors focused around a handful of tough foes. Both sub-level 1s here were supposed to be sheer grubs. The White Flower Garden in particular is also very helpful because it gives us white Pikmin. How good are white Pikmin? Really freaking good, I'll tell you that much. As sneaking through Beady's legs is an incredibly optimal way to deal with most sub-levels, the speed of white Pikmin lets them just zip past any challenge. Not to mention we need them to get the geographical projection to unlock the perplexing pool, so... As we exit White Flower Garden, I make it my duty to get that globe in no matter what. While Jeffrey...
Did you put the purples away, or where are they?
I have them.
Are you on the ledge?
I'm on the ledge.
Gosh darn it, get off the ledge!
Before we know it, there are 2 Beadies pestering the base, 2 treasures making their way in, and the sunset countdown has begun.
I believe. Come on, globe.
Oh wait, it totally might. I didn't realize how close it was.
Holy
Oh my god.
frick.
Oh my god!
Ow!
The perplexing pool is surprisingly much calmer than the Awakening Wood, thanks to the minimal amounts of enemies around the start. But more importantly, this is where we get yellow Pikmin.
Man, those Pikmin have big ears.
We should call them year Pikmin.
No, we fucking shouldn't.
What's so good about yellow Pikmin? Well, they can do this.
I can't wait.
While this is as simple as just throw yellows, there's a bit more to the perfect Beady kill. Combat in Pikmin focuses on 2 main things. Latch as many Pikmin as you can onto enemies as fast as you can, and prevent them from shaking for as long as possible. Beady Longlegs is a really interesting example of both of these. Beady Longlegs defaults to 2 different actions on loop, stomping and roaring. When a Beady begins stomping, it has to finish stomping with each foot before it can do anything else. I refer to this 4 stomp period as a stomp cycle. When it roars, it bends down and becomes more vulnerable to every Pikmin type. When left alone, Beady will either do 1 or 2 stomp cycles, followed by 1 or 2 roars. However, if it's taken enough damage or enough Pikmin are latched onto it, the Beady will shake after finishing whatever action it's currently performing. So if it's roaring, it will shake after the roar. If it's stomping, it will shake after the 4th stomp in a cycle. After shaking, the Beady goes right back to stomping. Using this knowledge, there's a number of different opportunities to attack for the most damage, and it usually involves the roaring phase. If you preemptively throw Pikmin as the head bends down, you can deal a very good amount of damage before it shakes them off. However, if you're lucky in your throws and timing, you can have Pikmin latched on as the Beady begins to stop, being unable to shake Pikmin off until it finishes its cycle. When combined with the yellow Pikmin's increased throw height, or if you just manage to find a good vantage point, it is significantly easier to throw Pikmin on before or during a stomp cycle, letting them deal damage for as long of a period as possible. And when you add Spicy Spray into the mix, you can double the damage output of yellow Pikmin. So without question, yellows are the best Pikmin for this challenge. Oh, what's that? I said purples were bad? I lied. As we probably should have expected, purple Pikmin remain one of the best types in the game. Even changing every enemy to a Beady doesn't seem to stop them, does it? Despite their low throw height and the inability to stun Beady Longlegs, their 50 impact damage still works, although it's not the easiest to do. They need to land on a part of the Beady, but their homing makes them move towards the center and usually miss. In addition, throwing them directly onto the legs will just cancel the throw, so positioning and aim is key. And if you find a good spot, you can deal a hefty amount of damage in a single go. What's funny is that you can deal enough damage to trigger a shake, which further locks the leg in place, letting you continue to deal more purple damage. In addition to the surprisingly useful combat tool, purple Pikmin's massive carry power proves to be invaluable.
Huge!
He's gonna make it, it's fine.
When you have a large number of Pikmin carrying an object, they're easy targets to get stomped on. But when it's just a handful of purples, despite them moving at the speed of freaking purple Pikmin, it's super difficult for a Beady Longlegs, or even an army of them, to actually step on the purple. All of this information becomes incredibly useful as we venture into the Citadel of Spiders. Finally, this cave lives up to its name, and sublevel 1 goes very poorly.
So, how many Pikmin are we lost in this floor already?
30, I think.
Sublevel 3 is a standard massive spider swarm. We use white Pikmin to zoom by, but 2 and 4 introduce a new type of sublevel. The ones we dreaded the most.
I can't wait for the floors where it's gonna be a bunch of Beady Longlegs, but one of them also has a treasure.
Oh god, I didn't even think about that eventuality.
It is finally time to test our patience. The treasure radar winds up being very useful in these floors, but oftentimes the amount of Beadies makes it harder to defeat a specific one. And so it begins, whittling down the Longlegs Legion, clearing the path forward for our Pikmin, and using the different techniques I've discussed so far, and we finally make it to sub-level 5. This is it, the original Beady Longlegs.
What? What is this? What is this? Dude, they added another enemy to this game.
What? Let me see. Holy frick, what was that? Dude, that's a spider.
That's not Beady Longlegs. What the hell?
And with that, we've defeated the hardest cave so far, and this is the 4th easiest cave of the game. We lost 44 Pikmin here. But with yellow Pikmin at our disposal, we can finally return to the Awakening Wood and get the last type for our Pikmin army.
Whoops.
Red Pikmin suck. I hate to say it, they're my favorite type, but okay, maybe suck is too harsh of a word, but there's literally no reason to ever bring them with you. All of their abilities are completely outclassed by every other type. And even ignoring vanilla Pikmin too, if we're looking at just this challenge, yellows, purples, whites, these are the 3 types you want in every cave. Blue Pikmin are sometimes required. Red Pikmin, why would you want to bring them? Because they have increased damage. You know what else you can do? Spicy Spray. Not only that, but yellows are just more consistent. So why did we get a red Pikmin extinction? Why did we lose every red Pikmin in our army? We threw them all in candy pop buds. We returned to the Awakening Wood to finally get blue Pikmin. And while we spent a good amount of time just doing Awakening Wood things, when I finally reached the blues...
Oh, I got a red spray from...
What happened here is that the blue discovery cutscene kind of requires blue Pikmin to activate, so if every blue Pikmin dies before you reach them, the game freaks out and crashes. But if we activate the cutscene with blue Pikmin still alive, we're fine. In other news, Jeffrey has footage now.
I just lost like 20 Pikmin.
Cool. We successfully activate the cutscene, but between then and tearing down the wall, all the blue Pikmin died. Luckily, by entering and leaving a cave, they respawned, allowing us to obtain the 5th and final major Pikmin type. And I have to grow their numbers in the midst of several Beadies at once. Fun. Blue Pikmin are always a weird type to discuss in terms of viability because, like, they can go in water. They are the only type to go in water. Therefore, if water, then blue Pikmin good. Otherwise, blue Pikmin useless. Yeah, that's better than whatever red Pikmin I have going on. But now that we're fully decked out in our Pikmin types, we begin Pikmin 2's mid-game. We can go to any area, do any cave, no restrictions. It's just a matter of doing it. For example, the first cave we do is the Bulblax Kingdom. Being a cave with no water, the typical Pikmin loadout we take are like 18 purples, 20 whites, 60 yellows, 1 blue, and 1 red. This is Reb. He likes carrying things, long walks on the beach, and destroying fire geysers. He is the last hope for the red Pikmin, their one chance at redemption. I love Reb. I would die for him. Sublevel 2, a small sublevel, winds up being the perfect proving ground for Reb. With some fire geysers on the floor and Beady Longlegs stomping about, Jeffrey tries letting Reb do his job, to my dismay.
Whoa!
Damn
That's a dangerous game you're playing.
I instantly retaliate by just using every other Pikmin to take them down, which is probably not the best idea, but in the chaos, we lose sight of Reb. Until...
Unless we did, because I have no idea what the fuck happened.
No, he's back here! He got one! Yes!
Reb is a hero. I'll be real, I was planning on throwing him straight into the first candy pop bud I saw, But no, I will make it my sole duty to make sure that Reb makes it. He will make it to the ends of the earth. He will make it to the depths of the dream den. Anyways, Bulblax Kingdom as a whole was just really simple. Well, as simple as a cave can be in this state.
Ow.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
All in all, just more practice in defeating Beadies, carrying through chaos, and proceeding with caution. Snagret Hole was a different story. First, Jeffrey and I are Pikmin fans. Dandori runs through our veins. Trying to be as efficient as possible just happens naturally to us in this game. And before we know it, we're carrying in the final 2 overworld treasures as the timer counts down, nearing 0, and Jeffrey's poised by the next cave, ready to jump in. So while we got the treasures in, we're entering this cave with 60 Pikmin, consisting of mostly yellows and blues. I'm so glad I chucked him some yellows. 2 white Pikmin, 0 purples, and Reb.
We have to run!
Sublevel 1 went very smoothly thanks to Bitter Spray, a very powerful stun tool. Note that Bitter Spray bosses take significantly less damage, so it's not really a tool to assist combat. But here, it works perfectly. Sublevel 2 wound up being incredibly chaotic for Jeffrey, as he took the yellows across the water, as I took the blues to fight Beady Longlegs. I'm not really sure what the thought process was between both of us, but it worked out. Sublevel 3 is a perfect showcase of why.
The red Pikmin was the only one who didn't latch on.
Reb sucks. No one likes him. Bro can't even latch onto a Beady Longlegs. For shame. For shame. Sublevel 4 is a fairly typical floor, with Beadies, one with a treasure, and just a lot of fighting. And then sublevel 5, we can see an enemy I didn't replace. Antenna beetles. Why didn't I replace them?
It's because I thought it would be annoying.
Fortunately, this enemy never really wound up being that much of a problem, so I regret not picking a more annoying enemy to keep. Like, I wish I kept the bumbling snitch bug. Other than that, it's a fairly standard floor. Shout out to how far this marble rolled.
I could throw the red Pikmin off a cliff and you wouldn't notice.
Oh my god, I
could throw
I would be
Pikmin
destroyed.
into the cliff and then just not mention it.
Reb really isn't having the best streak. I can't believe I believed in him.
Very cool.
believe in him. I don't believe in him. I'm sorry.
Heck, his faults are really shown off in sublevel 6. Jeffrey tries to give him a moment by collecting the science project treasure, but it's behind some poison, so we wound up just using a white Pikmin. Meanwhile, I completely guessed the Beady I was fighting held a triple sugar threat, or I guess more accurately, replaced the burrowing Snagret that usually holds this treasure.
I am taking a complete guess that this is the freaking right Beady Longlegs.
I mean, there's 2 of them that are right, because the Dwarf Bulborb.
Oh, that is true. My prediction is this is the Snagret. I was right. I was freaking right.
That's actually insane.
Really proud of that one. The other 2 treasures were lying around and inside a Beady on the other half of the floor, so we went over to collect.
No!
I'm killing him. I'm on my fucking vengeance arc.
I'm utterly speechless. I've always loved Reb, but now he's just gone. Forever. His adventure was cut short so soon after it began, and just due to one careless mistake. We extracted revenge on the Beady Longlegs and completed the Snagret Hole, but at what cost? At what cost?
When they die, they turn into sprays.
Observe the ceremony. Fruit in the bottom. Reb liked fruits.
With the sacrifice of Reb, we have successfully collected every treasure in the Awakening Wood. And while it hurts, while things will never be the same, he will always be with us in spirit. Literally, we're not plucking another Pikmin. Our count is just capped at 99 now. Let's see how this affects Perplexing Pool. We spend the first day back at the good old PP collecting the above ground treasures and preparing passageways to the 3 remaining caves. So, after doing our Dandori duties, we spend the last seconds of the day entering the Glutton's kitchen. This cave is famous for 3 things: electricity, hordes of dwarf bullbears, and bread bugs. And for this playthrough, one of those things is gone. Guess which one?
I'm gonna break the facade that there's just ever not gonna be crazy.
Every floor in this cave was filled to the brim with chaos, except sublevel 2. That one was really simple, and we got the massive lid! Let's go, massive lid! Sublevels 1, 3, and 5 also went by surprisingly smoothly, despite their insane Beady quantities. Also, bread bugs. I didn't replace bread bugs, they're too funny.
Ah! No! No!
But this leads us to sublevel 4. This floor typically has bullbears, big and small, as well as some bread bugs, which actually managed to help us carry some objects past the Beadies.
Yeah, carry that through. Carry that through, Red Bug.
But the biggest threat we faced was Pikmin 2's random generation. Pikmin 2 caves are pseudo-randomly generated, which basically means while every floor will have the same objects and rooms each playthrough, their positions change each time you enter the cave. And in this particular instance, the Invigorator wound up on the top of a tall platform. And thanks to the previous sublevels wearing down our army, we don't have enough yellow Pikmin to reach it. Now, there are a few obvious solutions to this issue. For one thing, we could just reset the game and get luckier with the treasure spawn. Or we could just leave the cave and come back with more yellows. But here's the thing. Those options are both boring. Nah. Instead, we put our own restrictions on this challenge. For one thing, we cannot leave a cave under any circumstance. Unless we collect every treasure. When we enter a cave, we stay there until it's done. Which leads us to restriction 2. We can only reset if it's absolutely necessary. If we don't have enough Pikmin to carry everything in the remainder of the cave, we can reset. So what does this mean for the Invigorator? Well, collecting this thing is still not off the table, which is exactly the problem. We need it off the table. One idea I had was to latch Pikmin onto a bee's head, and it shakes them off by the treasure, where they pick it up. This is a stupid idea that would take way too much luck and time. We're not even gonna try bothering with that. Idea 2, purple Pikmin. As the Invigorator weighs 20, we only need to get 2 purples on the treasure for success. And in the GameCube version of the game, a useful technique you can perform are momentum throws. Purples can rain on yellow's parade by launching themselves up slopes, and it's great. Unfortunately, this tree isn't really working, but that's when I noticed something. The generation placed a hill close to the treasure. Holy frick, this is it.
Holy shit.
Oh, I got it!
And with that, we get down to sublevel 6, defeat the giant bread bug, and deal with the normal bread bugs doing bread bug things. Fun bread bug facts! You can kill them when they're bitter sprayed! With the Glutton's kitchen done, and just a sprinkle of time left in the day, we scrunch up the remains of our army.
There's one red Pikmin
No,
in the ground.
not.
I wish there was.
And book it to the shower room. By this point, we've already been playing for 4 hours straight, and I'm getting freaking tired of all these beadies. Just beady after beady after beady. It's exhausting. So we opted for a more go fast rather than do it right strategy. And a lot of Pikmin are going to die because of this. You can see this wear and tear too, not just in these casualties, but also in the topics we're talking about. When we enter this cave, I'm talking about Madagascar too.
All the other zebras are white with black stripes, but Marty's black with white stripes.
Shower room's biggest obstacle are walls. I never even thought about how wall heavy this cave is before. Look at the last sublevel. It's filled with pointless walls. Why did they do this? walls prioritize spawning in front of treasures in the cave exit, making them the defining trait of a weird middle ground between Mad Dash sublevels and Defeat the Beady sublevels. We were just too dreary at this point to really process that we should have taken a new method of approach. Instead, as I said, we just opted to ram gates as much as possible. This wound up proving itself to be too stupid of an idea on sublevel 3. The sublevel where we lost 32 Pikmin due to pure negligence. These Pikmin really did not have to die, and after too many moments of turning our brains off, I decided it was finally time to try and do something about these mistakes.
We are not thinking. We are dying.
It's
We
fine.
are trying to come up with the stupidest jokes ever. We are suffering for it. We need to get our heads in the game and just stop dying. Watch this.
Ooh, big brain. Now we're thinking.
Luckily, sublevel 4's Rest Flurry Nest let us replenish our Pikmin army and acquire an inconspicuous Japanese maple leaf. That's about right.
Dude, Reb loved weed.
Sublevel 5 proves to be a fairly large sublevel, with 2 treasures that weigh 20, but we got incredibly lucky with one of their spawns. We opted to grab the Broken Food Master by not breaking down the wall between rooms, making the Pikmin carry it down the much safer side route. Well, comparatively safer. While going much better than sublevel 3, we still wound up with many casualties, only for everything that could go wrong to go wrong on sublevel 6. Jeffrey spawned 10 too many Beadies and then proceeded to wipe out our entire blue supply, leading us to our first reset. As I said before, we only reset if it's absolutely necessary to beat the cave on that visit. In this case, the Rubber Ugly here requires a minimum of 8 blues, and we only had 3. Shame. On the second attempt of the floor, no water even spawned in, but that issue was replaced with more freaking Beadies defending a wall that contains a cave exit to the final floor. Bitter Spray was incredibly useful here, but this was our last dose.
Uh-oh.
I think we're fine. We just need to get through.
Come on. Jesus Christ.
And with sublevel 7 being a boss floor, having only a single Beady to worry about, we have successfully finished off the shower room, marking the end of our 7th day. I'll give some fun in-depth stats at the end of the video, but take a wild guess on how many Pikmin we lost in this day. 50? 80? 146. We lost 146 Pikmin on this day. Our army is completely in shambles, and this really shows for the next few days. Instead of being smart and returning to the Valley of Repose or Awakening Wood to grow Pikmin, we instead tried to do stuff while growing blue Pikmin. Except we only had 13 blues, and everything left in this area required blue Pikmin. From the walls guarding treasures to the final cave we had to do, the Submerged Castle. This led to easily the most boring day of the run, spent mostly waiting for stuff to happen. We grew some blues, but Beadies were guarding a wall, so I came in to kill them. Then I failed to grab the singular pellet for the blues.
God.
There's nowhere to throw him.
Oh my god, I hate my Pikmin. Just take this to the blue onion. No? Blue.
That sums up this day in full. So instead of attempting any of that again, we head to the best Pikmin production area of the game, the Awakening Wood. And it's here I should probably discuss the final major modifications I made to the game. Grinding sucks. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me on that one. But an interesting dilemma we've run into is that Beady Longlegs doesn't drop a body. This is actually the reason why you can't beat the tutorial from knocking Olimar down. Remember that from 30 minutes ago? Well, if Beady Longlegs replaces the Dwarf Bulborb, you can't get enough Pikmin to carry the Courage Reactor in. So then, if we can't use enemy bodies, we have to rely solely on pellets. And the only pellets Beady Longlegs drops are pellets that the enemy it replaced originally had. And while we could just spend several days going to some of the easier areas and grabbing the naturally spawning pellets there over and over, I decided to make things a bit easier for ourselves and I buffed pellets. There are 2 things I did to buff them. One, what the frick? 1, pellets do not need to match colors. This just removes luck. 2, pellets give 50% more Pikmin. So 1 pellet gives 3, a 5 pellet gives 8, so on and so forth. In a similar vein, 3, candy pop buds now can convert double the Pikmin. This just removes grinding for purples and whites from, say, the Bulblax Kingdom. We just do half as many trips. Hopefully all of this should explain any weird sightings you've seen in my footage. But 4, Spectralids give 4 Pikmin. Why? Well, there's a funny bit of Beady trivia you might not know about. Ooh, I have an idea. Enemies such as armored cannonbeal larvae or bread bugs either spawn in or summon other game objects, such as rocks or nests. However, they can't just summon them from nothing. They need to allocate space for these child objects by adding them to an area's object pool. Beady Longlegs is properly programmed to spawn unmarked Spectralids upon its death, but due to the devs forgetting to set them as a child, when it tries to spawn the butterflies, it can't find them, and spawns nothing. However, if an area has Spectralids in its pool from a different source, Beady Longlegs is able to use these Spectralids as long as they're currently inactive. For example, if we have a cave with Spectralids and the Beady Longlegs, and we defeat the Beady, nothing drops. But if we chase away and despawn the Spectralids, Beady successfully spawns them. I bring this up because the Awakening Wood has Spectralids in its pool. They are flowers that if you touch them, butterflies come out. And because now every enemy is a Beady Longlegs, when you defeat one, butterflies come out. So to celebrate this, I made Spectralids worth 4 Pikmin, both to really reduce grinding and come on. When am I ever going to get to use Spectralids from Beady Longlegs? When is anyone ever going to do this? This is like the one chance! The last Beady oddity I want to bring up is their secret camouflage ability.
He's invisible! Dude, he fucking activated active camo! Jesus Christ, he got me!
Okay, maybe it's not intended camouflage, but it's still neat. As Beady's health decreases, it begins smoking and flaking away into nothingness. And when it's defeated, it collapses to the ground and fades away. This is good and all, but when you add more Beadies to the party, things get a little weird. From what I can tell, Beady Longlegs uses a special material for its texture that becomes more flaky and transparent the less HP a Beady has, all the way to becoming completely invisible at the end of a defeat animation. But while the material gathers the necessary information from a singular Beady, every Beady on the field uses the same material. So in short, the health of a singular Beady dictates the texture on every Beady. So when this one Beady goes down, every Beady becomes transparent until a new base Beady is selected. While this looks really cool, we can also get the opposite effect. By leaving the base Beady at full HP and defeating a different one, we can see it perform its full death animation without ever disappearing, up until it pops out of existence. Neat. Well, that's the last Beady Longlegs fun fact I have for you. There's not really much else to elaborately explain away. We will grow our army to some pretty substantial numbers, but from this point on, it's just gonna be a bunch of caves. Cave after cave after cave. The longest caves in the game. And if you've been enjoying the video so far, why not leave a subscribe? Leave a subscribe. If you've been having a good time with the video, why not go ahead and subscribe? I'm going to be releasing highlights of the actual adventure itself. In addition to that, I'm going to be making more edited videos going way into detail about all sorts of Pikmin mechanics. So if you're at all interested in the Pikmin rabbit hole, I'd love for you to join me. But for now, it's time to start our cave adventure with the most infamous cave in the game, the Submerged Castle. And I know what you're thinking. No, I did not change it.
It's Beady Longlegs!
And he looks funky because the multiplayer mod we're using just kind of does that. Pay no mind. The Submerged Castle was an incredibly fun cave because, By just keeping the Wire Wraith and making it spawn after 90 seconds instead of 5 minutes, the variety it provided made everything so much more interesting. And despite this new obstacle, Sublevel 1 went really well thanks to luring the Wraith into a random corner, allowing us to collect the remaining treasures and progress deeper into the cave. It is here where we find the final Pikmin type of the run.
It's the Water Wraith!
It's the Water Wraith!
Conceptually, Bulbmen are freaking cool, but I never really got the hype around them in terms of their usefulness in gameplay. They're immune to all 4 major hazards, but that really just boils down to them being a better blue Pikmin. With that said, they are a better blue Pikmin. They are one of the only ways to increase our Pikmin numbers while spelunking, and because they can't leave caves, they are perfect candy pop bug fodder, as that only adds to our Pikmin count. And that's really the fate most of these things are going to find themselves, in candy pop buds, but in the Submerged Castle, their inclusion is very welcome. And fun. I kept Bulbmen because they're fun. Everyone deserves a spark of hope in their life. Sublevel 2 starts off with a perfect showcase of our dead insideness, as Jeffrey casually loses nearly 20 Pikmin at once, and neither of us say anything about it. We just accept that this happened, and there's nothing that could have been done about it. With the 10 Pikmin we got from Bulbmen help make up for it, Jeffrey ventured into the depths of the sublevel to grab the chocolate cushion, while I struggled to collect the confection hoop, especially when the Wire Wraith shoves me back into a corner, works with a bead to ensure I am one Pikmin away from carrying the treasure, and then goes back to bully Jeffrey while I make the long legs stop bugging me. Jeffrey does give me another Pikmin to finally carry this thing in, when the Wire Wraith suddenly becomes Tony Hawk and kills another one.
You need another
You
Pikmin.
will not believe what this thing just did.
What the frick? Sublevel 3 appears like it should be simple, with 2 treasures right next to base, but one of them is behind a wall guarded by 2 beady longlegs. Not only that, but our army is brutally wounded, with us having, 25 Pikmin on this floor? With numbers this low, we play it safe, and I finally decide to just kill the beadies guarding the wall for once. Problem is, even though we got these 2 treasures, the Wire Wraith has spawned, and the 3rd treasure is inside a random beady longleg somewhere. We play recon, always calling out the Wraith's position.
I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Nope, he turned back around for me.
And keeping Pikmin safe high up on ledges, until there's too many beaties to worry about to probably kill the one with the activity arouser. So we get a new idea. Use the Wire Wraith to kill the beaties! Somehow, not a single one of these beaties actually had the treasure, but the radar was still going crazy. So we chucked Pikmin on a nearby ledge, spawning yet another beady, and this had to be the one with the treasure. We lured it off the cliff, brought the Wire Wraith over, killed it quickly, and finally acquired access to the treasure, to which we just kept a good watch over it in the Wire Wraith to bring it back to safety. Only for the cave exit to be behind yet another wall. Bro attacked me here.
Oh, hi.
He just came over.
Drive by. What the? Ah!
And Sublevel 4 went the best it ever really could have. This floor is focused on poison and bomb rocks, which means there aren't a whole lot of enemies to become beady longlegs. The Wire Wraith also spawned locked behind a wall, while all 3 treasures spawned in this random side room alongside the 2 Bulbmen. Kind of an anticlimactic end to this cave, but hey, we'll take it. We hop down to Sublevel 5, replenish a supply of purples, defeat the Wire Wraith, collect the Pluckaphone, get a blue Pikmin extinction, and successfully pay off the debt. Oh yeah! So now we just sit back, relax, watch the credits freeze, I load the save on the vanilla version, it works out, all's good. We gotta see our stats after this, and what have we done so far? We lost 629 Pikmin over 10 days. 5.5 hours of just this non-stop. So we took a break for a week because our adventure is only at the halfway point. But you know what that means. Onwards to the Valley of Repose. Wait, no, where are you doing? No. The Valley of Repose is a great place to replenish Pikmin numbers, thanks to the amount of naturally spawning pellets right next to base. which is exactly what we needed after losing all our blue Pikmin. So we replenish our supply, take down the wall, drain the water, and build the bridge in the main section of the region.
OMG bridge!
Just like with Perplexing Pool, this day was mostly spent creating these shortcuts and preparing to take on the caves. But that's really understating what that goal requested of us. For example, we only have 3 white Pikmin remaining. We pull out 2 of them to dig up the buried treasures, then put them on the poison gate. Let's see the progress at the end of the day. I have faith in them. Another strong issue. The latter half of the area is filled with beaties. From the water dumples under the bridge to the fiery blowhogs up top, there isn't a single safe space to retreat towards. Although, it is here where we see a rare instance where replacing everything with beady longlegs can actually make things better. Usually there's a fiery Bulblax to the treasure across the water, and it's pretty annoying to defeat it a lot of the time. But with my modifications, we can see that.
No!
What?
Why would you do this?
Is this the same still?
Yes!
Oops.
It's kind of weird that they have this enemy that's completely on fire. I feel like there should be a type of Pikmin to use against it, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, purple Pikmin! After using these purples, I was placed in absolute chaos, stuck in the middle of these islands. But thanks to the break we took, I was actually able to get out of this deathless, until I make it across the water. Then I lose 1. After that little expedition, everything escalated immensely and quickly at the end of the day. While Jeffrey struggled hard to acquire the unspeakable wonder.
I think I accidentally killed the fucking beady longlegs.
Pure chaos has formed around the bridge.
What is going on?
And haha, I lied earlier. Beady longlegs fun fact 50. They ignore bridges. Something I actually found out all the way back on day 3, but now is actually a problem. Although, this did give me a rare opportunity to swarm its weak point earlier in the day, which was not nearly as satisfying as I hoped. But now, we are doing our best to round up all the Pikmin we have around and end the day. When we come back tomorrow, all the bees will be gone unless we spawn them in again. So, I think we round up all the Pikmin. Let's end the day in...
What?
What?
Wait, what happened?
Who died? Who died?
What happened there?
Wait, what, who died? Zoom out.
Pikmin from the
Wait! There. No! Wait, no!
For day 12, the preparations we have made allow us to collect all the remaining treasures, except our severe lack of white Pikmin prevented us from progressing to the not-so Snagret Hole.
We're a third
Yo!
of the way done.
Yo!
We are a third of the way done.
Luckily, 1 white Pikmin is all we need to unbury treasures, so we delve into the Frontier Cavern. Frontier Cavern is kind of a banger cave, but this first sublevel is incredibly claustrophobic. Combine that with beady longlegs, 2 buried treasures, and 1 white Pikmin, and we have one of the slowest floors of our adventure. I don't think you can find a better summary other than the fact that a beady instantly spawned once we landed on the floor.
We could.
Oh my god.
Follow us up with the 2 buried treasures spawning in the back corner and being protected by basically every beady there is, and we're already off to a 30 Pikmin loss before we even head into sublevel 2. Yet, it doesn't really matter. Frontier Cavern as a whole went exceptionally well. Sublevel 2 is a prime example of a mad dash sublevel, and with the high beady density, the carry power of our purples allow us to grab both treasures with relative ease, even if it wasn't exactly the fastest. Our speed is about to get a strong increase though, because sublevel 3 finally supplies us with more white Pikmin. And Bulbmin. As I said before, Bulbmin don't really accomplish that much when compared to the other types, but we're grateful to chuck them straight into the first candy pot bud we can find. Sublevel 4 should have been really simple, but never underestimate the power of carelessly walking around and accidentally spawning an entire army of bees that suddenly makes a sublevel significantly more stressful and dangerous than it really should have had any right to be. Luckily, none of these beaties had a treasure, so we just need to focus on getting the 2 around into the ship as fast as we can. A task Jeffrey was appointed with while I was doing my darndest to keep our squad alive. So after actively dodging the stomping for minutes on end, we get both of the treasures in and dive deeper in the cave where things get really freaking easy. Sub-level 5, for example, is a rest floor with some enemies, one of which has an upgrade treasure, the Brute Knuckles, which grants us the Rocket Punch. This will be incredibly helpful in our adventure.
We can destroy eggs faster.
Sub-level 6 is also fairly light on enemies, but thanks to a lucky generation that made the sub-level super small, we were able to grab both the worthless and priceless statues without a single hassle. And sub-level 7? This floor loves its falling rocks, but with our revitalized white Pikmin supply and none of the treasures actually inside a Beady, we just take the time to locate and carry in the few treasures with whites. Something interesting you'll see as the challenge goes on is that we wind up using white Pikmin a lot more. The reason for this is probably in between. If we use purples, then it would take forever, and white Pikmin are so fast they can outrun anything. So if someone were to claim like white Pikmin were better than purples for this challenge, there's a lot of completely fair arguments. For example, it's just fun to watch them schmoove. And sub-level 8 is also really simple. The long linear path just means we can run past all the minor Beadies and bully the one with the repugnant appendage. And with that, we've completed yet another cave, and now have the white Pikmin required to break down the wall and enter the final cave of the Valley of Repose. So with minimal time to spare, we destroy the wall and enter the Not So Snagret Hole. The Not So Snagret Hole is a cave famous for its explosives, being left on the ground, falling from the sky, the works. And while the volatile Dweevils may not be around anymore, there's still plenty of regular bombs roaming the cave. But before we can get to them, we have to deal with sub-level 1. This is a big, open sub-level with 2 treasures, but the no vow, I don't freaking care, table is large and heavy, leaving it exceptionally vulnerable to attacks. We had to attempt to bring this treasure in many times to no avail. Also, there are Snagrets in the soul, apparently. I really don't get why they named this cave this way if they're just gonna put Snagrets in it. At least I'm assuming these are Snagrets? We never actually got into Piclopedia, so I guess we'll never know. Aside from that first sub-level, this cave went exceptionally well, and that's probably because it has the lowest enemy density of all of them. Most of its danger comes in the form of bomb rocks. Sub-levels 2, 3, and 7 only have like 4, 3, and 3 BDs respectively. 4 and 8 are rest floors used to replenish our purples and whites. Sub-level 5 could have been bad, but white Pikmin are freaking awesome.
What a difficult sub-level.
And this really just leaves sub-levels 1 and 6. Sub-level 1 was beaten by lowering the BD density and finding a good opening to grab the treasure, while 6 is a pretty cramped floor where I forgot to remove some of these Dweevils. Oops. This actually made things a bit harder because they were carrying the repair juggernaut around like there was no tomorrow. But when combined with the efforts of white Pikmin carry speed and purple Pikmin's 100% stun chance against Dweevils, we completed the sub-level pretty swiftly. Other than that, you can actually use bomb rocks against Beady Longlegs. It takes about 3 to defeat one, and the hitbox is incredibly generous. So on sub-level 7, this Beady on the pedestal could have been a weird problem, but it thankfully spawned next to 3 bomb rocks. So I detonated them all and we collected a treasure, ruining the footage. Here, I'll splice it the best I can.
Punch, punch, punch.
Footage.
I'm gonna have to cut it together in the footage. Yeah, look, I freaking destroyed. I need one more Pikmin.
So we hop down to sub-level 9 and wait, that's not Beady Longlegs. Man at Legs is a very fun and cool boss, and like, it's the same family as Beady, so why not keep it for the variety? You can absolutely demolish this thing's health bar if you have a good supply of purples, which you're likely to have considering the game gives you violet candy pop buds right beforehand. So after dealing half of its health, I tried out the stupidest strategy I ever could have done while fighting this thing. Stand on top of the ramp and shoot it down. All in all, it's just a regular man at legs fight, but this is a fun boss. And yeah, to summarize, the Not So Snagret Hole was kind of a breeze after sub-level 1, but it also marks the end of our 2-day completion of the Valley of Repose. All that's left to do is the game's final area, the Wistful Wild. And believe me when I say this place is filled with the most difficult challenges the game has to offer. After all, it has 56 treasures. That's 28%. Wait. Okay, I thought that was going to be intimidating, but that actually makes complete sense in the context of 4 areas. It's not even the area with the most treasures. Perplexing Pool is. Let me try that again. After all, it contains the remaining 39 of the game's 105 sublevels. That's nearly 40%. There we go, that's a much better number. 40% in one area? That means the other three have like 20% each. Not to mention, Wistful Wild only has 3 caves. That means these are extra long. Take that, Awakening Wood and Perplexing Pool, you baby areas. The first day at the Wistful Wild goes just like every other area's first day, with bridge building, wall breaking, cave unlocking, and I can't help but feel like I'm forgetting about something. Maybe it's this groink I left in. You know, I was leaving a lot of these hazards and deadly enemies in because I thought it'd be funny and make things much more difficult, but you'd be amazed at the amount of friendly fire this game allows between enemies. Heck, the groink is freaking insane at eliminating Beady Longlegs. Jeffrey spent most of the early day yoinking my yellows and gatling with the groink. The freaking jerk.
You know what? You can have your Pikmin back. I don't want them.
Before he eventually swapped places. He proceeded to spend the entire day in Beady Purgatory, successfully grabbing 1 Spiderwort berry, while I was trying to find a way to utilize the uncooperative groink who didn't want to follow us across the water. Wait, don't groinks have the ability to revive? New plan, kill it and carry it across the water. Blues, you're on thin ice here. Okay, new plan. Build the bridge and carry it over. Oh yeah, it's growing time. Even when the Beadies try fighting back, I didn't realize they had the power to do that to other enemies. Nothing can stop the pure annoyance of the groink. That about sums up day 13. And while we didn't collect any treasures, the next day has a perfect setup. Wait, why don't we grab the Doomsday apparatus? On day 14, we wrapped up all the remaining overworld objectives, from collecting every above ground treasure to destroying gates leading to the rest of the caves.
It's working, trust me.
Alright, you know what?
You go be productive. I'm gonna keep doing this.
We go productive. You mean go get more fucking red berries and kill all our Pikmin?
But now it's time to begin the onslaught of Wistful Wild's subterranean voyage. We have to complete the Cavern of Chaos, Hole of Heroes, and the Dream Den. Despite being able to do these 3 in any order, the Dream Den is pretty obviously the game's final cave, being 14 sublevels wrong with a single rest floor, and also just kind of having the final boss of the game inside, so we're saving that one for last. Cavern of Chaos is comparatively much shorter, being 10 sublevels long with a single rest floor. It's probably the easiest cave of the area, but due to our unique circumstances, we decided to start off with the Hole of Heroes. Despite being the longest of the 3 caves, the Hole of Heroes has more sublevels than it does treasure, a trait not shared by any other cave in the game, not even the Emergence cave. But not only that, but the Hole of Heroes never has more than 1 treasure per sublevel. It has 3 rest floors, you get Bulbman to replenish your Pikmin numbers, and this cave is basically just one glorified boss rush. And considering the state of boss floors in this game, well...
So I argue we do Hole of Heroes first.
I'm down. I mean, it's just gonna be like a bunch of floors with 1 Beady Longlegs, right?
Exactly.
Surely nothing goes wrong, right?
There's 5 of them here.
This is what the Wistful Wild has to offer. Despite our initial beliefs about even the simplest cave of the area, Beady counts skyrocket, floors get more cramped, and we just have to deal with whatever nonsense the game throws at us, 1 sublevel at a time. So let's get through this mess of a cave.
Oh god! Oh god! Go in the hole right now! Right now! Right now!
I have 5 yellow Pikmin, and 3 of them missed, and 2 of them just died.
Oh yeah, baby.
We were half right about our Hole of Heroes prediction, but only really in the second half of the cave. The earlier sublevels have incredibly dense enemy spawns and a whole lot of walls. Remember when I said wall floors are a mix between Mad Dash and Defeat the Beady sublevels? Well, I changed my mind. They are now the spawn of Satan. Mad Dash sublevels are nice for obvious reasons, and if only one Beady has a treasure, when it's defeated, you're able to just grab it and go. But when you're faced with a wall in front of a buried treasure, and then 5 Beadies spawn in, you have no choice but to whittle them away one by one. And friendly reminder, Bitter Spray is an unviable form of assistance for combat due to incoming damage on bosses getting quartered during the stun duration. It's only useful if we need to accomplish something surrounding the Beadies, like on sublevel 3. But when it did come to the boss floors, things went as smooth as butter. Even with surprise extra Beadies or weird arena layouts, we took things slow and surgically removed the treasured Pokos into our pockets. Then there was sublevel 9. Despite what this looks like, the fact the Beady with the treasure spawned right next to the gate was kind of a massive blessing. But you saw the montage, you saw how that went. What's more interesting to talk about are good pals Raging Longlegs and Man-at Legs again. Remember that 4 stomp cycle Beady has to go through before performing any action? Well, the same rules apply to the other Arachnorbs. Man-at Legs just moves way too swiftly to really make timing attacks to its step cycle worthwhile. But Raging Longlegs is super slow. You can deal a pretty insane amount of damage in a single step cycle thanks to how long it goes without shaking, which is probably why it has 10,000 HP, the most health of any enemy. And then when it starts raging, its stomp cycles become much shorter. While it is definitely the most efficient to just constantly call and throw Pikmin until this thing is dead, the amount of concentrated button mashing to make that work is absurd. I find myself just waiting for it to stop raging so I can get the most out of each stomp cycle, all in an effort to preserve my hand's integrity. But with this thing taken down, as well as the death of 89 freaking Pikmin, we have completed the first gauntlet of the final area. 2 more, baby! But before we do any of that,
We might need to spend a day at the Awakening Wood after this.
Nah. Nah.
So after a productive day of defeating Beadies, gathering berries, and harvesting butterflies, we grow our Pikmin count massively and leave the Awakening Wood with 250 Pikmin. Although, why does it feel like we're leaving something behind? Weird. What were we doing? Oh yeah, Cavern of Chaos time, let's freaking go! Looking back at it now, yeah, this cave was probably easier than Hole of Heroes, but that doesn't really matter anymore. Although I did finally get uninterrupted footage of Beady Bomb Obliteration. An incredible double whammy that really did cause these spiders to just go extinct, holy frick. Sublevel 2 went incredibly smoothly thanks to its low Beady density. And despite having Beadies guarding walls, the next floor also went by without a hitch. White Pikmin speed's back at it again. Bomb rocks appear once more on sublevel 4, allowing us to grab the treasures there without a hassle, and we've lost so few Pikmin so far that the Queen Candy Pop buds on this and the next floor actually bring our army all the way up to 100. This is the first time we've had a full army of Pikmin since the Bulblax Kingdom 8 sublevels ago. Surely nothing bad happens to them, right? 1 second, I dropped my notes on the ground. Okay. This is the deadliest sublevel of the run. Due to a combination of a massive amount of Beadies, one having a treasure spawning in a random corner, a super weird and difficult arena filled with water, electricity, and ledges, and the floor taking so freaking long that we just wanted it to be over. We lost 48 Pikmin on this floor. This didn't just bring our army down to 52. This severely damaged our yellow and purple supply. I mean, we have plenty of yellows back at the ship, but we're running pretty low on purples with the Dream Den. At least if we don't want to spend an extra day grinding. Sub-level 7 really wasn't much easier. While scouring around looking for the sub-level's treasures, Jeffrey spawned in basically the entire squadron, and one of them is actually holding a cookie, so we need to destroy them. Thankfully, due to their combination of being required enough to bring, but useless enough to not stupidly sacrifice, we have a great supply of blue Pikmin, and we spend the next 3.5 minutes chipping away with Spicy Spray, losing nearly all the blues and collecting the impenetrable cookie, until we remember there's another treasure, and it's behind a wall. Luckily, no beads were immediately threatening it, allowing us to break it down and zip past everything with whites. And, well, hey, our reward for this? Sub-level 8. If you were thinking about spots in the game that would have been interesting in this challenge, this is likely one of the first places you looked. A floor with 1 treasure, 2 groinks, and 54 dwarf bulborbs. Now, if you've been paying attention, you can probably realize this floor really isn't that big of a deal thanks to the treasure just sitting around and a huge lack of walls. But I also kept the groinks around, not realizing that they actually made things easier. So this was actually a really fun floor, just seeing all the bees we could spawn and running around past them. It's funny. This feels like the kind of floor that would be the perfect poster child for this challenge, but in reality, the 2 previous floors were. Whatever, sub-levels 9 and 10 were easy. 9 didn't spawn any treasures in the water and only has 3 beaties, and 10 was your average boss floor. So was this cave actually easier than Hole of Heroes? I don't friggin' know. It was much faster, but we lost more Pikmin. None of that really matters anyways, because we're finally at the end. We are finally about to finish off the game. All that remains is a singular cavern. One last frontier. One last den. But wait, are we forgetting someone? I could have sworn there was someone watching over us, a guardian spirit. And what about the Doomsday apparatus? A treasure that heavy can't just be collected on its own. It's just like... holy frick. Reb. We have to bring Reb. Alright, let's do this. As I mentioned earlier, the Dream Den is 14 sublevels long, one of which being a rest floor. This rest floor normally has 4 beetles for sprays, but thanks to the change, they're now beady long legs. Even without that change though, Dream Den is unique for being the only cave with no partway Pikmin production. Only cave that actually matters, I should specify. This is especially worrying because sublevel 14 has the Titaned Weevil treasures. Each one of these weigh 30, so we need to make sure to preserve 30 carry power throughout the whole cave. This wouldn't be a problem if we had a lot of purples, but thanks to sublevel 6 last floor, we have 7 of them. If you think we can get through this without resetting, don't get your hopes up. But it's time to dive right on in. Alright, Reb, let's do this! Sublevel 1 was a run-of-the-mill dash sublevel, so the fact there are 27 beaties on this floor didn't matter thanks to our great white supply. We carried in the Disguised Delicacy with no problem, but we lost a handful of whites trying to break open the hole cover to proceed deeper into the cave. How much health does this thing have? Sublevel 2 has a beady chillin' on a tower with a treasure, but this time there's no bombs to kill it. It luckily wasn't too much of a hassle bringing it down, but we lost a handful of Pikmin here. For sublevel 3, I actually left in the freaking bull bear that falls from the sky. It was way too funny of an idea for Jeffrey to spawn it and get attacked, but in practice the stakes are too high. I don't want to lose any Pikmin, so I just bitter sprayed it and collected the glee spinner. Sublevel 4 was another super windy metal room, but while the not so Snagret Hole's floor had 8 beaties, this one had 18. An absurd number of them spawned in, and the white Pikmin needed some assistance to even get past them this time. During all of this, Jeffrey was left at the top of the sublevel trying to defend against this. We managed to grab the treasure and press onwards in a timely manner, but not before taking another decent hit to our army. Sublevel 5 has something we hadn't cared about in a long while. Fire geysers. Reb, it's once again time to show us what you're made of. Sub-level 6 was easy at least. We used the radar to spawn the correct Beady, then waited by the ship until it just waddled on over so we could kill it without spawning anything extra. Nice, simple, and deathless. Sub-level 7, on the other hand, is the exact moment we made too many mistakes. A cramped floor, cover on the cave hole, which is really just a wall if you think about it, and the treasure inside a Beady Longlegs. We employ our favorite tactic, where one person takes the yellows, the others take the purples, and we chip away at the Beadies one at a time. We messed up quite a bit though, and got fairly careless with our Pikmin. How careless? We have a single purple left. This purple is the single most important Pikmin of the run. Actually second, the white Pikmin from Frontier Cavern was too important. Anyways, the consequence of losing all those Pikmin comes instantly on sub-level 8. A spiraling sub-level filled with a ton of hazards, a ton of Beadies, an antenna beetle, and nowhere to run. Not only that, but the possessed squash is one of the heaviest and largest treasures in the game. If we're going to collect that, we're going to need to make sure it takes a path with absolutely no danger whatsoever. Unfortunately, what you're watching is our first attempt. We spawned too many Beadies at once, and there was no way of ever bringing the treasure in safely with this amount of danger surrounding the place. To the point where we lost too much carry power. I mean, look how insane this is! How are we ever supposed to recover from this? Well, here's what we gotta do. Make sure this chaos never happens in the first place. So for our second attempt, we took it incredibly slowly, destroying each hazard and Beady along the path, one after the other. This time only losing a singular yellow Pikmin, despite the antenna beetle's best efforts. In case you're wondering about what doing this challenge deathless would be like, this is your window into that world. This is what every cave would become, but we did eventually clear out the path, grab the possessed squash and extreme perspirator, and head directly into sub-level 9. Here we are, the rest floor with nothing. Good sub-level. Sub-level 10 shows the return of the aquatic stump, except this time the treasure's inside of a Beady. We took the lesson from the previous floor and started taking it slow, killing the few Beadies we were spawning 1 or 2 at a time. But their insane density in certain spots made it super easy to spawn massive groups at once, to the point where fighting these clumps would take forever and probably lose a lot of Pikmin. Not to mention the treasure radar isn't even going off, so the treasure isn't in this corner. So screw it, I ran around until I found the Beady with the treasure, thankfully spawning far away from the other Beadies. Not only that, but I got a clean chunk of damage right at the start of the fight, and after using our last bitter spray to bring this treasure back to base safely, we continue into the final stretch of the cave. And what a foreboding beginning.
There's one up there. You go around, I'll throw the yellows up.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Despite the Beadies actually knocking the treasure off the ledge themselves, they stomped our last purple, and we no longer had the carry power for the final floor's treasures. So unfortunately, we reset for the third time of the run. On the plus side, the new generation of this floor placed both treasures on ground level. The boss stone was very easy to swipe thanks to no bees being spawned beforehand, but the yellow taste tyrant was in a much more difficult spot. We managed to get it through with our purple, but we're down to 29 Pikmin. If we lose either 8 Pikmin or the purple, we will have to reset once more. Thankfully, sub-level 12 is not that big of a deal. There aren't a ton of Beadies here, with only 5 total enemies? And the one with the treasure just so happened to be right next to the ship. Not only that, but the buried treasure was guarded by an antenna beetle. So I kept shooing it away, waiting for the whites to break down the wall and grab the treasure. Sub-level 13 is a similar situation. 6 Beadies, incredibly cramped space, but we took it slow and defeated them one by one till we reached the one with the hypnotic platter. I want to once again really highlight the power of Spicy Spray here. I cannot overstate how useful it is on these yellows. Giving them the damage output of purples or retaining their increased throw height, all while letting you only carry around a small army to reduce the chance of any individual Pikmin getting crushed. The amount of Beadies that were able to be efficiently exterminated by just stocking up on some sprays is a very non-negligible number. And, well, we're going to need to use the last of our sprays as we venture down into sub-level 14. Now, purely technically speaking, this is the floor that ruins everything if you want to collect every treasure if every enemy is a Beady Longlegs. The Titan's Weevil is a singular enemy with 5 treasures, and you aren't able to shove multiple treasures into a singular Beady. So when modifying the sublevel, I opted for a different approach. A whole lot of man-out legs and raging long legs. Let's go!
Where the fuck are my Pikmin? Where did they go?
I do not want to wake up the man legs. Can you get over here, please?
Oh.
Bad news.
Want to just leave the purple up here?
Mine's dead.
I woke up one of the man legs.
No.
Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh.
Oh, God. Mine's at 4th.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Woke up one of the man legs. My raging's dead. My raging's dead.
Oh, my God.
Where did he go?
He's in my raging long Get me out of here!
Okay, he's shooting me. He's shooting me. He's shooting me.
Yeah. Oh.
He killed the raging. Okay, I might die if we do this again. We might have to switch. It's up to you, Sam. It's up to you. That is a little... You can lose one more Pikmin. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's ballsy! Holy shit!
No! No!
No! Oh my god, I'm so stupid, but it worked out. Bad news?
Well, we lost. This is too worth. This is too
Yeah, just
worth.
go for the greed, honestly. Go for
Please.
the greed. Go for the greed, go for the greed, go for the greed!
And with that, we have successfully collected every treasure in the game. Except, wait, isn't one missing? And why does this cave go deeper?
Wish you the best of luck. Get in there.
I'm going in. No.
Yes.
And with that, for real this time, Pikmin 2 is done. So there we have it. The Pikmin 2, except every enemy is now a Beady Longlegs and its multiplayer run is now complete. I'm not really sure how to end this video. There's not really a Dandori lesson this could have taught unless Beady Longlegs is really giving you trouble. So, you know what? New idea. Let's go through all the statistics. Let's figure out scientifically which sublevels sucked the most. Our first topic will be speed. According to the footage, this whole adventure took 11.5 hours, a majority of that time being spent in caves. So what parts really did take the longest? Note for sublevels I was set on, I'm only including the successful times here. For the slowest sublevels, we have Cavern of Chaos 7, Cavern of Chaos 6, Not So Snagret Hole 1, Snagret Hole 6, Glutton's Kitchen 4, Submerged Castle 3, Dream Den 12, Frontier Cavern 1, Dream Den 14, and Dream Den 8. I really like the slowest sublevels because they make complete sense. I'm really happy that, say, Snagret Hole 6 and Glutton's Kitchen 4 are there. Dream Den 12 and Frontier Cavern 1 are there just because of low white Pikmin counts. And what's really fun is, remember how I said that Dream Den 8 was going to be just a perfect showcase of what doing this Deathless would be like? It is the longest sublevel by a large margin, so make of that what you will. Next up, we have the game's fastest sublevels. And I'm going to do this in 2 parts because the top 5 sublevels are all rest floors. We have Hole of Heroes 8, Cavern of Chaos 5. Hole of Heroes 5. Hole of Beasts 2. And Dream Den 9. I find it really funny that the fastest sublevel happened right after the slowest, but no, yeah, all those make sense. Not only are they all rest floors, but they either only had Bulbmin, a Queen Candy Pot Bud after he had the Pluckaphone, or literally nothing in the case of Hole of Beasts 2 and Dream Den 9. So, yeah. But screw rest floors. What are the fastest regular sublevels? Well, here we have Hole of Heroes 6, Emergence Cave 1, Hole of Heroes 11, Hole of Heroes 10, White Flower Garden 1, Glutton's Kitchen 1, Bulblax Kingdom 5, White Flower Garden 2, Hole of Beasts 1, and Hole of Heroes 1. I find it really funny that almost half of these are Hole of Heroes and the other half are really early game caves, but that's completely understandable. These are really small sublevels with very few treasures or obstacles, so you would be able to do them really fast. I'm also really freaking happy that Hole of Heroes 6 got in here. I didn't even realize we did this one so fast, but like, yeah, in retrospect, that makes a lot of sense. Well, that's enough of speed. Let's talk about our Pikmin deaths. In our adventure, we had 36 deathless floors. Not as many of those are rest floors as you'd think. But other than that, which floors killed the most Pikmin? We have Dream Den 7, Hole of Heroes 2, Cavern of Chaos 7, Citadel of Spiders 1, Glutton's Kitchen 3, Frontier Cavern 1, Hole of Heroes 9, Shower Room 3, Submerged Castle 2, and Cavern of Chaos 6. If we count deaths with resets, then Dream Den 8 becomes 8th place with 24 deaths, Dream Den 11 becomes 6th place with 30 deaths, and Dream Den 14 becomes 2nd place with 42 deaths. Somehow 5 resets still can't top sublevel 6 of Cavern of Chaos. What the frick? And the last statistic I want to talk about is how many Beadies we defeated on each floor. We have Shower Room 1, Bulblax Kingdom 6, Submerged Castle 3, Not So Snagret Hole 1, Hole of Heroes 2, Cavern of Chaos 8, Dream Den 7, Cavern of Chaos 6, Frontier Cavern 1, and Dream Den 8. It's really surprising that there's a lot of floors that aren't up there, like Hole of Heroes 9. And like, how did Shower Room 1 get up there? As it turns out, when I'm not really thinking, I really tend to go on just rampages with my yellow Pikmin. Throughout our 14-day adventure, we killed 304 Beadies and lost 1,094 Pikmin. I've always wondered if my lifetime Pikmin deaths has reached 100,000. And I don't know if I've reached it yet, but this is definitely 1%. Other than that, Cavern of Chaos was the deadliest cave at 91 deaths. Hole of Beasts was the shortest cave on average, with each level taking roughly a minute and a half. And the Dream Den took double the length of any other cave, which is freaking absurd. So with that, thank you for watching my video. I'm gonna be releasing highlights of everything, and yeah, I don't know how to end the video, so. Holy frick, it's Beady Longlegs.